That's what I forgot. Swipe it right there.
No, you're out.
Yeah.
All right, Brian Molesky here with Brian Soja.
3065.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Really well. How are you?
Good. We took a little break for the first part of this, so now we're back after break. We are down to 7 players.
Yeah, down to the final 7. We've already lost 3 in fairly short fashion.
Yeah, which we expected because, you know, we talked about it earlier, Joe Bolio,
Yeah.
who was initially in the 10th seat, he got here with 23,000 in chips because he basically lost his entire stack to Kuzna, Kings versus Ace. Kuzna's Kings, he had Ace King. That left him with 23,000, but then on the other table, Nancy Anderson busted almost simultaneously or a couple minutes after. So Joe ended up making the final table with 23,000, extremely short. And
Was able to triple up right off the bat.
yeah, right off the bat, which was bad for Pat Steele. And so, you know, we were talking about it a little bit over there. One of the cool things about this final table is
Raised to
Pat
130.
Steele, who unfortunately busted now, and Brett Kuzna, currently in the 5 seat with the Wild jersey on, are battling out for the Player of the Year. So the MSPT Player of the Year has come down to this final table. Pat Steele came in with a 700-point lead.
Oh, yep.
So essentially, Kuzna needs to beat him by 7 places. And the way that the math works right now, and Nazman has just been a little bit of a card rack here early.
He really has. And Coleman here had gotten might get himself into a little bit of trouble with a paired board and holding that ace.
Out of position, yeah.
Yeah, he might think that he's pretty good, and Naz has really been kind of active so far early at this final table, and you know he's probably going to think that his ace high is good, and sure enough he puts a little bet out there to possibly find out.
Bet 125.
And if I know Naz, I think he'll trap here. I think he'll just call.
Yeah, I think
105,000
here. I just flat behind.
So Coleman there, with the white hat, is a pro soccer player. Plays for the Minnesota United FC.
Oh.
He's out of Woodbury, Minnesota. So he arrived here with over 1 million chips at the final table.
As expected, Naz just flats behind, and now might be trapping himself a little bit as Coleman now has picked up the nut flush draw with his ace high. Naz to check it. He might be a little concerned that Naz just flatted behind him, that he had the jack, and Naz go ahead and checks behind. What do we got there on the river? Unfortunately, we can't see that card.
We can't see the river yet. We'll see if Eric gets on his A game here.
Bet 130.
Oh. What we do know is Coleman has gone ahead and bet.
Coleman checked. Naz.
Oh no. Okay.
Naz bet.
And regardless of what that river card is, it's going to be a tough spot here for Coleman, because the way that the hand played out, he might feel that his ace high here is good.
I'm guessing it's not a club because he didn't lead out.
Yeah, correct.
Call.
And he does go ahead and make the call.
Aces.
Naz shows aces with 6 of diamonds, so sure enough.
Well played by Naz. He got about what he could out of that hand.
Absolutely. It was almost a perfect turn card for him to get Coleman to commit.
Were you running good or average?
He was
I'm
smart
running
and didn't.
I know you've had some success in the poker
So
world.
Naz El Khatib, who just took down that pot, you know, it certainly has a solid resume. He's won a Fall Poker Classic main event here at Canterbury Park, which is one of the largest events. You know, for those who live up in the Upper Midwest, the Fall FTC every year is
One
kind
of
of
the premier events.
Yeah, a can't miss event, right? So all the players come out for that. It's actually about a $400,000 prize pool.
I think you might be both.
Naz has
think you might
taken
be
down one of
both.
those just a couple of years back. He's also won an HPT event here, also at Canterbury Park.
I remember the first time I met you, we were playing
So-
that cash game, and you had all those racks.
He's
And I was
had a
like,
lot of
oh,
success
nice
here. This
story.
apparently
I'm stuck.
is his spot.
You're
So
like,
anyway,
you
back
want
to
more
the
than
player
me.
of the year
Oh,
race.
sorry.
Kuzna, I think we did the math earlier.
Dark
Even
calling, I
with
guess.
Pat being the first one to bust out, for Kuzna to overtake him, even if he would finish in third, which would be that 7 spots, it wouldn't be enough cash for him to overtake Steele.
So if Kuzna takes third, he ties Pat in points, but the tiebreaker is cash earned. And so, you know,
I think Pat came in with a $40-some-odd thousand lead
yeah.
on Kuzna, and third place is $32,000, I think.
So Kuzna needs to take second to win the Player of the Year. And we mentioned it earlier, Pat Steele out of Michigan, so he comes a long ways to play this event here in Minnesota. He busted 10th. He's one of the classiest dudes I've ever met. Just a great guy, phenomenal player. It's unfortunate we didn't get a chance to watch him more here today.
Really a class guy.
But I mean, just this season alone, he has 4 MSPT final tables, 5 MSPT caches. He's at a 4th, a 3rd, a 4th, a 34th, and now a 10th. So absolutely a sensational season and very worthy of Player of the Year if he manages to hold on here. And it was fun because him and Kuzna have been joking. They get along well. But they both want it really bad, and it's been fun to see the back and forth. They can't stop looking at each other's stacks this entire tournament. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
And even when we were down to the last few tables, we were all giving updates to each other as to where those two were standing. Because that's really what they were. I mean, there's a lot of money on the line in this tournament as well, but with them being at the top of that POI leaderboard, that they have a little bit more at stake than the rest of the players here. So.
And Kuzna there in the red, he's not involved in this hand right now, and we've got some hands here, so this might get exciting. But
for sure,
this is Kuzna's sixth consecutive MSPT cache. That is sick.
That's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Re-raise.
So now we've got.
So
Naz
has a tough.
It's going to be tough for him to get away from this.
Yeah, there's too much. There's too much in there now.
Yeah.
Compared to relative to his stack.
Correct.
You know, we talked about it. There was some extreme short stacks when we first got here, and we figured once we got to 5-6 handed, it would really level out. They all held on for a long time here today to get to the final table. So we started this final table at what, 8:45, 8:50 p.m.
Yep.
The last one out in Wisconsin, I think we wrapped it up at 9 o'clock. So it's interesting to see how certain thing goes. You know, if you have one guy with a big stack that just steamrolls, it can get over quickly. Here, everybody's been pretty even. There hasn't been a substantial chip here to make things go more quickly as we moved along.
And did Naz make the call? I mean, it was only $280,000 for him to call. I assume that he did. Looks like he did.
Hard on the turn for an ultimate sweat.
Naz has got the gutter ball.
Just ended.
Six really doesn't change anything. And that's a nice
Side
draw.
pot king.
Yeah.
With king queen. You're
pot
looking.
or queen.
You're not really feeling too confident when you get 2 callers behind you, and one's ace king and another one has an ace. But part of the beauty of that is, you know, that odds are an ace isn't going to come. So hopefully, since you're sharing the king, all you got to do is dodge a 5 and catch a queen. That's all you need.
Simple game.
Well, yeah, that's all you need.
So yeah, we're talking about Kuzna. This is his 6th consecutive cache, his 7th overall. And we actually have.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, for those of you watching the MSPT now, where you're not real familiar with it around the country, or you know, this is broadcasted worldwide. On MSPTpoker.com, there is a stats page, and so this Kuzna, this is his 5th, I think, ever final table. That puts him 2nd all time, only behind Everett Carlton.
Just a machine.
Yeah, this is his 7th cache. MSPT cache, that puts him also 2nd overall behind Everett Carlton, ties him to Nate Fair. So he has been unbelievable this season, and you know, it would almost be sad if he doesn't win Player of the Year for as great of a season as he's had. But you know, Pat Steele has had a great season as well. So
he has.
And I know Kuzna doesn't have that bracelet yet. That's what he's looking. He's got 2 4th place finishes, you know, and a 7th this season. So
he's really looking to get that bracelet. I know that means a lot to him. The Player of the Year means a lot to him. So he's got a lot on the line here. I don't suspect
Went
that
to
he'll
the
be
logo?
getting out of line at all. But it's, final six or seven that we have left. So should be fun. And I got to put a shameless plug in that Brett is a member of Team Poker Joker, which I am as well. So shout out to my fellow Joker there.
And there's a nice rail there of Poker Joker members.
Yes,
that
exactly. We do come out in force when one of us is.
I'll say that's one of the coolest things about your group is the fact that how positive you guys are and how much you support each other. And if one's at the final table, there's 10 others that just randomly show up to root them on.
Yep.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. There's, I'm not going to name names. There's a couple negative Nellies that roll through, and maybe one or two. I won't point them out at this table.
We don't need to do that. But, we definitely try to just keep things very positive and light. And a big thing in the poker community, especially around here, is Twitter, which, as you know, can get way out of line sometimes. And we definitely try to keep a positive spin on things and support each other.
And most importantly, like, you have fun when you're playing. Like, I see a lot of players now who are just down and out. Like,
they're
I'm
miserable.
like, why
at
are
the
you
table.
here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be a little bit of fun, right? Like, just get out there and have fun, So, so that's that's cool to see that you guys are so into that. So, and there you go. This is one of your guys, and
proud of Brett and everything he's accomplished so far this year. See really big things for him in the future as well. So, congrats to him.
Yeah, and you got second here
in April. Yep.
And
thanks for pouring salt into that.
Yeah. And we were talking about that a little earlier too. So
yeah.
It was a big thing on Twitter this week that Minnesota players, because they do Minnesota players, because this is where it started, have had a lot of success in MSPT events, even in Iowa and Wisconsin and some of the other states, and always have a good contingent of Minnesota players that travel around. But
even when you were out in Colorado.
Yeah, so like the last two events at Canterbury, though, have been won by Adam Eunice, who won 95 or 96,000. He's out of Iowa, and James Gibson, who also won, I think, 96,000 out of Canada.
Yep.
So the Minnesota players were certainly looking to keep that cash home this week, and
we're going to be successful.
Yeah.
With Pat Steele being our 10th place finisher, he was
out of Michigan.
Yep. He was the only non-Minnesota resident at this final table. So good for all of us. We defended home turf, and
there was a lot of players in here from a lot of different states this week. So we had 366 runners, and we had 366 runners despite a nice snowstorm on Wednesday. I mean, it was tough to get in here.
It was very difficult, and then even today we had a little bit of snow again. So I was worried that some people might get here late this morning.
Friday night, I got in my car to go home at about 2 in the morning. It was minus 14 degrees. I'm like, this is ridiculous, and it was so cold. Like, I got to walk. Fortunately, I get nice parking up here, being a vendor.
Yeah.
And I got to go 100 feet, and I was frozen by the time I got to my car at minus 14 degrees. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I was very happy to be in the second row when I was here last night.
So it was not ideal conditions to be in Minnesota this week, and we, especially, I think we got 9-10 inches on Wednesday for a lot of the people that were trying to travel in. So to still draw 366 for this main event is pretty cool. So, and we've talked about it before. I mean, it's not super inflated. We do not allow unlimited re-entries. We haven't. We've tried to stray from the industry trend right now.
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. But I just wanted to say, I think that part of the reason you see such a large turnout, even when the weather isn't ideal, is really a compliment to what you have done with the MSPT and the growth and the success of this tour.
Chop it up.
That really speaks volumes that everybody wants to be an MSPT champion.
Yeah, that's pretty
It
cool.
still sticks in my craw that I don't have that bracelet, because I will one day. Mark my words, everybody. But this is a premier event everywhere you go, and I know you've done a great job growing from the Minnesota State.
I just want to know, because I just made a mistake a little bit ago. I should have
now it's
stuffed
grown to
it.
the Mid-States Poker Tour with the Poker News.
Just
In
now?
our hand from 6 hours ago.
You just now?
No.
Oh,
I could have made a mistake just now. If you showed me a 5, I probably did. We're flipping.
No, I had an ace with it.
I found myself
but we're still
at
flipping.
MSPT events,
Yeah, right.
and
So I
I'm
made a
really
mistake.
looking forward to that schedule upcoming next year, because you've got
If I
some
don't-
really
if I don't win the
exciting
tournament.
stops coming.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit as we go.
All in.
We'll take a break from all our plugs to watch this hand.
Well, McClellan's getting it in here with a suited ace.
Yeah, he hasn't had much to work
broadcast,
with
you'll
yet
see
at
what
his
I
final
mean.
table.
And with only 340,000, he's got less than 10 big blinds. Really doesn't have the luxury of being able to wait for a premium hand, and he's going to take down the blinds.
All these guys are guaranteed $12,000 right now, so that's no chump change, that's for sure.
Not
We've
a
got,
bad investment.
well, just shy of 94,000 up top. And of course, as you mentioned, the RF Moeller Diamond Championship bracelet. So very grateful to RF Moeller. They custom design and build these bracelets.
Do you think you got the watch there?
Oh, there's
That
you
right
go
away?
get the sign in
I was
the
wondering, because I was like, you're like almost mucking your hand, and then all of a
RFMoeller.com,
sudden you took it back in.
It is that time of the year, by the way. So if
It
you
is.
are looking for a fantastic gift for your gal or guy, because they got some of the coolest watches of all time,
They do.
at RF Moeller, make sure you stop in there. They got several locations.
And they're really a great staff there too. I've got a number of high-end watches, and I've had some trouble with some of them, and I've brought them in there, and they've been fantastic to work with.
And they support poker,
They do.
which is hard to find businesses that will put their name on poker. And so super cool, and we're really appreciative of all the things that they do for, poker in Minnesota, but just poker in general. So anytime you get businesses that support the poker community, make sure you give back
Absolutely.
and support those businesses as well. So big shout out to RF Moeller for everything that they do. And we
Might get
appreciate it.
some fireworks here now.
Ray is
With,
the
Shane
140.
on the buttons, and have pocket jacks here.
Yep.
I doubt there'll be any money put in front of them. And just as I say that, Nas opens up with the 3-4 suited.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun watching Nas because he can have anything at any time.
Ray is all.
Now McClellan's in a bad spot here because
He's got to let that king queen go.
he's gonna let it fold, but it looks so pretty.
It does. It does.
King queen of clubs.
Sitting at a final table, king queen suited. You've got the
He's
chip
only
leader.
got a 400K stack though. I mean, I think he is the short stack, right? So he may.
Yeah,
it's
he
not
may
a
get it in
horrible
there.
position to shoot for a triple up here. Nas can open with any 2 cards.
Yep.
I would suspect that Shane has somewhat of a hand here, though Shane is
450, I believe.
semi-aggressive
Again.
and can make some moves.
He is, but I think if I'm in McClellan's spot there, I'm looking at the pay scales, and I'm hoping that Nas
This is
actually
one
does
short.
have a hand here and can possibly take Shane out, and then I can move up a spot.
Do it.
So, and I don't think that, I think McClellan understands that even though Shane may have a little bit of a wider range, that he's probably not shipping over the top of the chip leader.
With a lot weaker than a king queen.
Right.
This
Not a whole
I
lot
was
here
gonna
for
say,
Nas to call.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna.
and if he shows this, he's gonna have an even worse table image. And
Yeah.
that's possible.
450, 490.
I was gonna say, and we've talked about it. We saw it earlier. Nas does not like to fold, but it does look like he's gonna fold this one. He doesn't want to show.
Yeah, I think that he just doesn't want to show the table the 3-4 suited. I mean, if he just does the math on the stack sizes here for what he'd be picking up for knocking Shane out as well as the blinds.
295.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily show the whole table that you opened under the gun with 4 high, but yep, sure enough, he does make that call, and I think it's the right call.
Yep.
Just given the stack sizes.
That'll like this.
Yeah, Shane's loving it right now, even with that ridiculous sweater.
That's Craig, by the way.
Well, you know the turn. There's a lot of cards to hit the turn here that can make this exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Low card or a spade.
Well, gives him a few outs.
No, that locks it up for Shane. There's nothing he can
Oh
do.
yeah.
Nice
you're right.
rack, Shane.
So Shane gets a nice.
That's why I'm
nice
sitting
more
back
than
here in
double
the
up.
commentator booth because I was thinking he had a gut shot draw.
You should play more.
Yeah, I know. Right? A lot of people say that. I don't know what they mean.